Hey everyone, welcome to my Tinertia guide. This is definitely a game worth checking out. I got it for like $3 on the PlayStation Store when it was on sale. The physics are great. It's one of those games that's completely skill driven as opposed to waiting things out. Just the quick restarts like your Super Meat Boy, that sort of game. And yeah, because of that, it's a quick platinum if you are good at it, so I definitely recommend going for this one. But without further ado, let's get to it. Hey everyone, Shadowslick here. I'm going to be showing you Tinertia. This gem is awesome. I don't know why more people aren't playing this. It's kind of hidden in the PlayStation Store, so definitely check it out. I'll have the link for you. So you'll see I'm just going through the worlds right now. You need to beat each of them to get the rocket medals and time medals shown on the right. So you have to beat the stage in a certain amount of time, as well as use a limited number of rockets. You don't have to do these together, but for a lot of them I was able to, so that's the way I'm going to be posting it for the most part. 7 worlds, each world has 10 stages. And this is the first world, obviously, it's the core world. Each world also has one special trophy to go with it, so like, for this one, it's to beat the boss without shooting it. So once we get to the 10th stage here, I'll be showing you how to do that as well. So the first few stages are very lenient with your rocket usage as well as the time. You can see like I'm 9 seconds ahead, so this does get significantly harder. But you can see just making use of the air dash. If you touch the yellow stuff you die, so don't. But you can just keep retrying over and over. Circle for PS4 is a quick restart. So it's kind of one of those things to just keep banging out over and over until you actually accomplish it. It's like there, I don't wait to fall away to the ground, just little time savers. Those blocks break once you hit them, so you have to be careful to get off them quick. Yeah, I'm just saving time where I can. This one, you just air dash there. Even then, like, this is going slow, but you just have so much time in the first world that it's really not a problem. Nothing too tricky about this one. You can see I kind of screwed up there a little bit, but time is still lenient in the first world, so no big deal. So finally on the 8th level, so this one and one more and we'll finally get to the boss. So there's a switch there, you just have to trigger it by hitting a rocket at it. There's going to be another one coming up right there. And then this one has 30-second time limit, so lots of time. Alright, so now we're on to the boss, where again, like I mentioned, the baby steps trophy is to beat it without shooting it. So you can't shoot the arm, which will slow it down. So just hitting these switches, getting past there, it's kind of tricky, the timing's a little bit off or finicky. You can see I still have plenty of time, and just gotta make sure to not get stuck on those guys. So that's the baby steps trophy, plus a conversion trophy for beating the first world. So for this one, there's an extra trophy in the first level, right? Set lasers to stun, where you have to not touch the ground at all. So for that one, I touch the ground a lot, so no big deal. But I'm going to be showing you a replay of this level without touching the ground. And here we go. So you can touch the walls just fine, but make sure to stay off the ground by hitting the ground earlier with rockets than maybe you normally would. And that's all you have to do to get the Set Lasers to Stun trophy. So now we're just going to continue on with this world like normal. You can see those blue lines, they'll trigger like lasers, which will insta-kill you if you get hit by them. Not with stage 2. So now the lasers are permanent, it just means you gotta get by them. This one still flashes now, so just adding a few more elements. Yeah, make sure to, like I said, get all the medals while you're going through. Unless you're not aiming to platinum, then it doesn't really matter. Platinum or get all the achievements or whatever system you're using. Alright, so now you have to, again, timing is everything. Because those red lasers will come out and get you. And you have to be quick here, otherwise you'll get zapped by the laser, so. You can see the times are starting to become a little bit actually trickier, or closer to the par, whatever you want to call it. It's only a second to spare, but no big deal. Again, just timing with that last one, and knowing the pattern here helps. Again, just knowing the pattern, left side, right side, back and forth. And then you just have to time everything with the platforms up top. And you're good. Air dash over there, good to go. This one you can definitely do better than I did there, but it worked. I still had plenty of time. And now we're on to the boss for this world. So for this one you gotta hit rockets in quick succession, because that'll give you that momentum boost, which is what I'm doing there. This one took quite a few tries. But yeah, you just gotta get that momentum boost, switch sides again, and then go all the way up. And that'll give you your stripped trophy. So at this point, you unlock the Speed World playthrough, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now to get the To the Moon trophy. And I'm just going to be doing it on the first world since that's the easiest. So yeah, you can see the time just keeps going and going. So you know how long you have for the 5 minutes yet. 5 minutes is what you need to do to be under to get the trophy. So this is nothing you haven't seen before. Yep, so already on level 6, and it's only a minute 20, so plenty of time to spare. If you screw up the boss, then it's fine, because you'll have plenty of time. There's no rocket power or anything that you need to meet for this stuff, so just feel free to go to town. You can see I'm using a little bit of different tricks now that I've gotten more familiar with the game since the first world. But first world is so easy, it doesn't really matter. Except this boss. This boss was a little bit tricky to start. Yeah, you can easily whip on those switches and you're done, but you're given the option now, since you're not going for the baby steps trophy or achievement right now, that you can hit that hand and get a little bit more leeway. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And that's the To the Moon trophy. So now we'll be going back to the sewers. And this is stage 1 of the sewers. The special trophy for this world isn't until stage 7, so plenty of time. I'll talk about it once we get there. So that's kind of like wind, it pushes you in that direction. And then the green stuff will obviously kill you. Alright, level 4. Yeah, no need to actually make use of some of the paths here, but that's just the way that I found was the easiest. I still had an extra second to spare. These walls you have to break, otherwise you'll die if you touch them. So those guys, if you hit them, then they'll close up like a cage and you can jump on them, which is pretty useful. So for stage 7, we're going for the Royal Flush Trophy, so you have to beat it in 7 seconds. You can't beat it the conventional way, you have to almost cheat a little bit by going down the side and then shooting straight up, and then using your air dash to get over the side. There's no other way to get this trophy. Trophy/achievement. Alright, so level 8. That part's a little bit tricky, but just some practice, and then you have to shoot yourself at the right moment there to get the right height and power. But I have plenty of rockets spare, so you could also just go to town. This boss is pretty tricky, especially with the number of rockets and the time. Both of them are a little bit tricky to meet, because you're trying to get that crazy momentum boost there, and again there, and then get up there and you're good. Yeah, so rockets was fine, it was just the time. So that's only 18 rockets out of the, what, 28 you're allowed? Yeah. So, not bad. On to the next world, we're in the slums. So this one, the special trophy or achievement for this world isn't until the boss. So there's a lot of those dropping green block things, which can be pretty annoying, because they'll just stop your momentum completely. And then of course you have the falling yellow crap from the sky that'll kill you. So again, just timing. You can't afford to really stop and figure it out, you just gotta get used to it. Get used to the pattern. And here you have to be quick, because again you gotta keep momentum up, otherwise you won't be able to get to the next green rock, since you can only shoot on each of them once. I wouldn't recommend trying to make that cut off, you'll just die. You have to go around the long way here. Yeah, as you can see, I had plenty of time, so it was fine, but tricky. Those walls are also extremely finicky. It'll take some getting used to. Alright, so that's level 5 for the slums, so we've officially done 35 out of the 70 levels. But it only gets harder. So yeah, you can see I'm making use of those guys just to get a little extra momentum. I'm just making my way through that maze stuff. Again, those walls are super finicky. Just because they're not steady, they move a little bit, they have a little bit of give, so it makes it a lot harder. This level took me so long. You just have to be very careful with your rockets. Like I even used the R1 jump there, that air dash there. And then rocket, because you're only allowed to use 19, so it's very, very precise. Then the boss for this trophy, the only part it applies to is right near the end. You have to not hit him with a rocket. So I'm going to be showing you with a rocket first. So I'll be getting the par and the target time medals on this run. So just jump on them, then rocket off, and then air dash. And even then, just barely enough time. Alright, so this is where it gets different. It's like I said, you can't use a rocket to get further, so I'm gonna freaking power like crazy, air dash, and then that'll give you the trophy there. That one also took quite a few tries, so don't get discouraged. So this one introduces that mechanic. So like, I don't even remember the word. You know, like floating through the air sort of thing. This world's trophy is in this level where you are not allowed to touch the ground. So that was with touching the ground. And now you'll see me not touch the ground. So you can see I didn't get my air dash back because I didn't actually hit that platform. And I'm just taking my time here. Then again, not touching the ground. Went a little bit crazy there and finally made it. So that'll be the Days Without Injury trophy / achievement. Alright, so for this one, I'm going for the rocket medal first and doing that separately from the time. And that's just because I found this one to be too difficult to do both of them at the same time. Because you need to use the extra rockets to shave off your time, so you'll see me doing that right here. Alright, level 4. You gotta work on that momentum again, so quick trigger finger. Those parts are easier than they look. This part was a little bit tricky for me. Just use the air dash if your timing is off, which is what I ended up doing. I wasn't sure if I'd actually die there or not, so I just decided to air dash. But still plenty of time. So I air dashed first and then started using rockets. Just because the par score for rockets is a little bit low. I had to use 2 rockets there, which wasn't ideal either. This one has a generous time, so I'm just making sure my rocket's number is fine. Alright, so 8th level, momentum boosting. And then you have to start this cycle as soon as you can, because it will catch up on you if you don't hurry. That one's not so bad, it just takes a little bit of practice. So for this guy, you want to be shooting him to stun him, but at the same time, you should be going fast enough that he shouldn't really be an issue, but the first one's pretty much free since you're locked behind that gate anyway at the beginning. I got a nice free shot in there. That's the ideal place to shoot him because you don't want to wait around really at any point, so that means I'm ahead of him here, and he got squashed, so I don't have to worry about him closing the gates on me. So here my time was slow, but my rockets were fine. So I ended up doing it again, using more rockets to get a better time. Especially here was where I tried to save time, by using more rockets again. And nice shot there. Blast through this, momentum boost here, momentum boost here. Making sure to get my air dash every time I land. And that's it for World 5. Alright, welcome to World 6, Metropolis. This is definitely the worst world out of the 7. Just because those balls you'll see up there in a second. The physics is just ridiculous, so it takes some getting used to anyway. You'll notice that I've already screwed up the time. This one I decided to do separate with rocket and time, so I got my rocket first, and now I'll be going for the time run. For this world special trophy, it's not until the boss, so I'll be discussing that one once we get there. You can see I'm using a lot more rockets here, or at least not a lot more, but the one more, which let me get below the time frame. Okay. So now again, it's kind of important that you meet those, you go quick there, because the cycles, everything is cycle based in this world when you have these platforms. So it definitely gives you less room for error. Again, I did the same thing here, with rockets first, and then doing time next. Just because this world is so much harder than the rest of them. Then, that rocket boost there was important for me, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get the time for sure, because I'm already getting close to it. 18, 19, yep. But yeah, using those gravity balls, or whatever you want to call them, it's definitely the trick to this world. This level wasn't as bad as the other two. Alright, now you just gotta take advantage of your momentum there, break the wall so you can get through, and then you're dealing with some decently not too hard platforming, as long as you're shooting ahead. Making sure you don't touch those red walls. This is where it starts getting annoying, because those blocks will kill you now. So you've got falling blocks, and then red blocks that you have to bounce off of before you actually touch them. Then bounce off that guy, and you're there. I'm sure there's multiple ways to do this one too. I mean the previous one. This one's a little bit tricky just because you're even on more of a push time limit with everything collapsing. And then you're going to have to try to boost yourself up here, get that extra height. If you try to just ride it up and use the momentum, it won't be enough, so you have to do what I did there. Again, those yellow blocks will kill you, so this one might take a couple tries to get the timing right. And now we're on to the boss. So for this one, the trophy is aim for the bushes, which is to beat the Guardian without using air dash. So I'm using air dash in this first run. It makes it significantly easier. But again, timing here is important because you have to follow those block cycles. Then you just pop that guy up there and you're good. So the next run will be without using air dash, which is definitely, like I said, trickier. Actually, yeah, we'll be getting the time first. That was rocket, so now we're going to be going for time. And that was a lot, largely because I screwed up that ending there. And there's time. Okay, and now we'll be going for the air dash. You can see I'm kind of just floating, making use of the momentum. You could ride that under there. Those, when the blocks turn, they're pretty easy to just stay on. But that one will kill you if you stay on it, so you can't do that. Remember, you can't air dash here. And that's the trophy. So for World 7, the special trophy isn't until level 2. In this world there's drones, that's the new thing. So this guy, the laser will kill you. So what's special in level 2 for the trophy, Exceedingly Efficient, is that you can't shoot any drones, and shooting the drones will stun them, which means they won't shoot their laser. So this is how you get through the level. Plus, get the time and rocket par medals. You can see my ranks are a lot lower for these just because I think people were finding it more difficult. I think only 7 people have platinumed this game, maybe, something like that. At least according to PSN profiles, anyway. Something like that. So you can see I used the drone there to get extra height. Need to air dash to get boost up there. That's a tricky jump to make, but that's really the only option you have. And the last boss, no special trophy associated with it besides just beating it. This guy's the Arc. You're going to want to go the pathway I choose here. You have the choice between right and left at the beginning, but based on where those blue structures are that you need to destroy, you want to go right off the beginning. So then just bounce off him with a rocket, go up, use the momentum to get yourself up there, go left. Again, you want to go left, just based on where those blue structures are. If you get caught in the block while it's forming, you will die. If you get hit by that red laser, you will die. Alright, so I made it to the jump platform, so now I'm going to be going up to the last real tricky area, which is the third area for this boss. Again, you have to go left. You don't have to go right. You have to go left if you want to have a chance at beating the time metal and rocket power metal, because otherwise they'll be doing like an extra half cycle around the whole area, and you just don't have time for that. Now you gotta rush yourself up the staircase. I still have plenty of rockets to spare, so it's not a big deal for that. And there's time. So I had 3 seconds to spare on that run. So now you've beaten the game, and you'll notice that you should have only 1 trophy left. And of course, that is the good old boss rush, which is now unlocked by beating the game. So let's get it. Recyclops, the first boss from the first world. You're probably a whole lot better at this game now than when you first did this boss, so you shouldn't have any issues. Unfortunately, you only get 1 life though, so if you screw up on any of the 7 bosses, you'll be starting from this guy again. Alright, round 2. Again, you can see I'm getting a lot better with the momentum. But still, taking my time since I'm not worrying about metals at all anymore. And you can just use the momentum here to just make this a whole lot easier than I think I first did it in the first part of my video. This was one of the ones I hated the most. I just wasn't a huge fan of the tar. Sometimes I had it get spit on me and like that, and I was just like, ugh, that's annoying. But that's 3 out of 7. This one, the music's just epic, so it's always nice to make it to at least this far. You can use the same strategies as the time and rocket metals, but yeah, I opted to take my time, so. It doesn't matter what time you finish with or how many rockets you've used, so don't worry about that. This guy, if you shoot him again through those red walls, you'll stun him, which is pretty important, because you want to be ahead of him going into the last area. Now I suck here, so I screwed up, but I shot him, so that's okay. And then this part, I maneuvered pretty well, so that got me ahead for this part, which means the wall slammed on him, and it made it super easy. Next comes the Guardian. Again, just using momentum from those traveling blocks. That wasn't the ideal way to do it, but I didn't die, so it worked for me. And you have to jump through there. Again, you want a little bit more momentum going up and not cut it as close as I did, but hey, it works. Now, again, I took the same path as I did just about 10 minutes ago, which was right for the first level, first floor, then left, and then left again, just so I wouldn't have to be here any longer than I had to. But taking my time, since the lasers are fairly slow, or at least like in this first area you won't really notice it But in the second one, where you can get blocked by those gray blocks, then it can become an issue. But again, just using the elevator's momentum. If you do this enough times, you'll get used to the pattern and know exactly what you're doing. You could also just go through the bottom path there. And final floor. So I was pretty much shaking at this point. Yeah, if you touch those yellow guys, or if you get hit by that yellow spinny fireball crap, then you will die. But each time you hit one of those blue buildings, it kind of resets, so you get a little bit of time to go as far as possible. Now, once you've made it here, you're pretty safe, assuming you don't screw that part up. But now I'm just blasting like crazy, and finally making it to the top. And shooting a billion rockets down at this guy, and boom, that's the platinum. And holy crap, that was definitely a few tries to make this run happen. But you are officially a Tinertia Master, so congratulations on that. And thanks for watching the video pretty much to its entirety. I was just going to show some of the costumes off too, but there's no real point to using any one of them over the other, just for the looks. So hopefully you guys give this game some love. I'll let people know what's out there, because it definitely is a good game that I think has been overlooked. Thanks again.